Okay, so this is my beer brewing temperature control Arduino here. So doing an update on my project. So I showed before here I had the box wired up, but it was just here by itself. And but now everything's pretty much connected up. I've got the screen on here. I've got two buttons that I've added on. Go to dial it up for red for going up, black for going down. So that's how I set the target temperature. And the default that it starts off at is 18 degrees. And in here, well, the other exciting thing I've got connected up is, you can see I've got an AMD heatsink here. I think this is for an AM3 socket. And on the bottom I've got a water block, and sandwiched in between is a peltier. So this water block here connects the tubes to a pump just on the bottom here. And so you can see here I'm trying to test out cooling this water. Now the peltier that I'm using at the moment if you can see that, it's a 12715, so it does consume somewhere between 150 to 200 watts, I think. Well, in theory it does. And this one here is the first one I tried, which is a 12706, which only, according to the data sheet, consumes up to 60 watts. So with the 60 watt, or I think the CPUs, that when I've touched them, the heatsinks that have been on them, CPUs, they consume around 60 to 90 watts on a desktop computer, depending on your model. And I remember, it feels a lot hotter than what this was getting. So that tells me something. Maybe the peltier is not consuming as many watts as the data sheet says it can. But anyway, let's try switching this on. That's a PC power supply that I've got hooked up. So just going into mains here, then mess of wires here. So this loom of wires, I've pulled off the yellow, which is the 12 volt line, and black ground, and I'm using that to feed into the Arduino's power supply here. Okay, and that power supply is it's really just a DC to DC converter, and it's got 5 volts and 3.3 volts coming off it. One thing I found is this Wi-Fi dongle, the ESP8266, when it starts up, it pulled enough power that I think it overwhelmed the 5 volt, or affected the 5 volt rail on here a bit, and the Arduino reset. So what I've done is to add just in here, can't quite make it out, I think you can just see it there. I've added a 470 microfarad capacitor. That seems to have stabilized things a lot, though I've still noticed a reset from time to time. But might also be I've got a loose connection here somewhere. Anyway, I'll try dialing this temperature down a bit. So dialing that down. And what I'm wanting to do is get it below that 14 degrees and just hear it switch on. So it's currently heating. Okay, so it's gone off, and in a few more seconds that should switch on. So at the moment I've got two problems. One is that reset issue, which I'm still having from time to time. So that just means that I lose the target temperature and it goes back to the default temp, which is 18 degrees. And the other problem I'm having is that this here, like I said before, just doesn't seem to be getting as hot on this side as I'd expect, and as cold as I'd expect on this side. So the end result is that the water here that I feel coming through is cold, but it's not shockingly cold. And the water in here is only getting around about maybe 1 or 2 degrees different from the room temperature. So I need to get a lot more power, a lot more efficiency in my cooling here. Obviously I could insulate this border block a bit more, but another thing I'm thinking about doing to try out getting a bit more efficiency is, as you saw before, I've got the rate of water coming through is fairly fast, so I'm wondering if I let the water rest in the pipe, let it rest in this water block basically, if it's going to cool down a lot more, and I'll be able to get more efficiency in it in that manner. Just yeah, so then I don't have all this water running through the pipes all the time. Might be able to get a lot more cooling in just a small volume of water and drop that through. So that'll be interesting to try out. So yeah, that's the two issues I'm currently looking at. We're going to look at next. But making progress. At least I've got buttons now, and hopefully I can get this peltier to give me a bit more mileage. Cool.